Well, good morning and welcome to the Market Cover. Hope you've had a great week. Obviously, been some challenges in the United States. Our hearts go out to and prayers for the people in Boston, as Texas. Challenges along the way. We had our thirdly last week for the Anderson. One's coming up for Lafayette on the 30th. Hope you can make that. If not, as always, we will send out an update video wise for those of you who couldn't make it. But if you'd like to get some information sooner, simply email us, and we're happy to get that to you as well. Much to talk about this week from an investment standpoint. When you look at the fundamental stuff that's going on, and we could look at this either through the lens of the macroeconomics or the fundamental leg. But they're working on and adding a third lane to the canal down in Panama. What we're seeing happen already are different companies that are seeing some major earnings starting to come out, shifts in some of the interior of where investment can go. And those are fundamental changes that are happening. We're seeing gas prices fall, which is clearly a benefit to the United States people in terms of reduced cost, especially for the people who have the least amount of money. Some of the younger people to be able to get back and forth, huge benefits. This is going to do nothing but continue to help with that situation. And of course, we have the natural gas boom that's going on that we've talked about coming out of the western part of the United States as well. Beautiful things that are happening inside of our energy area, and things that we have to watch fundamentally, where real shifts and changes are taking place. As my engineers would like to say, we're seeing a lot of things that could be signal, not just noise in the fundamental aspect. From a technical thing, this chart kind of shows you. Remember, technicals have nothing to do with the companies. All they do is manage money flow. But physics teaches us things that are in motion tend to stay in motion, and when they're at rest, they tend to stay at rest. And what we're able to see on this chart is clearly you had the momentum taking the market down from the first part of '08. Actually, it started earlier in October of '07. But the first part of '08 really hard down into the bottom of '08 and then March of '09. And you see that huge uptick that's come since then. It's a 15,000 point round trip. Technicals do a good job of letting us understand where we are in the motion of things. But some of those snapshots, some of that volatility along the way has not felt so good. The technical leg helped us immensely between 2003 and 2007. And right now, it's probably the weakest of our three legs in terms of the way results are starting to come from. We're working very hard to monitor that and to measure it. But the whipsawing of the market, similar to what we just saw this last week, has really been phenomenal and important to pay attention to. From the institutional guys, this is a picture of Paulson, one of the smartest people on the planet when it comes to money. He saw the housing correction, the housing crisis, we should call it, in 2008, made a fortune for his clients, and then has been literally beat up since then. Remember, it's a hedge fund, and he literally has more than half of a $9.5 billion fund in gold-type assets, and gold has just been pummeled as of recent. One, as an individual, we should never invest that much of our money in any one place ever. There's no reason to take that kind of risk. Number two, we don't ever want to bet on one thing being the result of having to work out to make it work. You're either hero or zero when you take those sides of bets. When you live in the world that we're in, there's going to be periods of time where the market is nicer to you than others, and it's not nice to anybody who's in gold right now or Apple. I'm glad we have less of both of them than we did before, but I'm going to talk about this in the thirdly. It's interesting. A year ago, we got in a little bit of mischief with some people for trimming Apple. And now we are getting a little bit of mischief every now and then for owning Apple, and we don't own near as much of it as we did. We don't think it's broken, but there's a reason why you have 2% of Apple and not 50% of gold that Mr. Paulson has got. It's a snapshot, and I'm not going to tell you to go buy gold, but I think some of this may work out a little bit different than what it looks like right now over the long-term period of time. FMOC demographics discussion. This is interesting. We talked on the newspaper column, the thirdly meetings with everybody, that we thought the tsunami of demographics was going to lead to a major correction. Most people got caught up in the housing deal, and we think that the demographics is what caused the housing deal. Now, yeah, it was added to with some of the greed and some of the things that came out of the banking world, but it's the demographics that kept it going. And now you've got somebody in the FOMC who's coming out going, listen, this may be more than just a meltdown in 2008. There could be true structural challenges that are coming from the demographics. And, of course, our response to that is, you think? We know the largest mass of our people were born 57 to 1961. We know where they are age-wise, and things are just a little bit different. I talked about that on the radio this week. Economists will not think things are back to normal until we're selling as many toothbrushes as we sold before, until we're selling as many cars, as many roofs, as many washers, as many dryers. And that's not what people do. We buy different things at different stages. And when your largest mass of people is moving through that process, you're going to see some changes, and that's why that story leg in our mind becomes so important. Glad they're catching on to it. Rules to live by: not everything that can happen will happen. Gold probably shouldn't have fallen as far as it did. That doesn't mean go buy it now by any stretch of the imagination. But you've got challenges that are out there, and it's why you don't put all your eggs in one basket. And it's why Adam and the allocation team and I have to be prepared for a lot of things that just didn't happen, things that we would have expected to have happen. At the end of the day, when you have a snapshot, it's like, okay, that's what happened. It's over now. Well, it could have gone a different direction, and we have to pay great attention to that from the risk management side when we're dealing with people's life savings and nest eggs. As you know, our golf tournament this year is a little bit different. We're going to be supporting what we call PAWS. It's the Animal Protection League here in Anderson. We're the headline sponsor for the event. We need to make sure if you want to golf, you get signed up early. We open that up to the public because there's a lot of donations that come to the animals, and they really need your money. It's at the Edge Golf Course in Anderson this year. A little bit different than the Anderson Country Club. Good people own it, and looking forward to being able to have a day and spending some time there with them. If you're out and about on Saturday morning and you get a chance, give me some time on the radio, 9 to 10 on WQME, 10 to 11 on Shine 99 if you're out and about. On Sunday mornings, happy to have you either way. And of course, if there's anything we can do to be a service, don't hesitate to email us, call us. We appreciate the opportunity. God bless, be well. Have a great week.